All right, so this is another bad movie review. This is going to be on Need for Speed. Uh, it's not good. It's based on a video game. That's never a good sign. It's written really badly, but let's get into it. So it's directed by Scott Waugh, and the story, Aaron Paul plays Toby Marshall, and he's this really good driver, and he's about to do this race, and an old, rival of his, Dino, played by Dominic Cooper, comes back into town, and he wins the race, whatever. But Dino actually has a job opportunity for Toby and the garage and his friends, for them to fix up this really nice car for him, this Mustang. And if he can sell it for $2 million, then they get a quarter of that, and they're struggling on bills, so they'll take it, even though he seems automatically kind of shifty and all that, and they already don't like him. So at first I'm like, maybe not take that, but whatever. They're struggling on bills.
You finished building my Mustang like you rebuilt that Gran Torino. I'll give you a quarter what we get for the car.
A quarter?
Car's worth $2 million. Minimum. That's $500,000 in your pocket.
So the person that wants to buy the car sends Imogen Poots' character, Julia Madden, and she's kind of looking at the car and everything, and she's saying that they'll only pay $2 million or a little bit above that if it can hit max 230. I'm pretty sure. And so Aaron Paul, takes it out on a track and goes above 230. I think he went 234, and so they got $2.7 million for that car after they fixed it up. And Dino's mad because he's kind of gone big time. He's made millions of dollars and stuff like that. He's won this illegal race that comes into play later on, and so he challenges Toby to a race. And the friend Pete, who also happens to be the brother of the girl that they were fighting over, wants to race too. So Dino lets him in the race, even though it doesn't even make sense for him to be part of the race. I mean, he's actively pretty much cheating to help Toby win, and the bet is only between those two, so that never made sense. So they're driving these, kind of almost futuristic type, expensive, I believe, foreign cars, and Dino gets behind Pete at some point, and he is not letting himself lose. So he actually like makes Pete like spin into the air and everything, and actually the car catches on fire and Pete ends up dying, and Dino just keeps going. So Toby goes back for him, everything, and somehow Dino was able to frame Aaron Paul for that, so he ends up going to jail for 2 years for manslaughter. It doesn't make any sense, but whatever. He gets out of jail. As soon as he gets out of jail, he contacts the owner of that Mustang because he wants it back. And the idea is for him to drive, even though he's on parole, to drive from New York to California to be part of this illegal race that's run by this guy named Monarch, who's played by Michael Keaton. And so he gets in that car. Imogen Poots is with him because I guess she's going to watch over the car, even though it gets totaled over the course of the movie. And they drive against traffic and everything. One of his friends, played by Kid Cudi, we'll definitely get back to him. Benny is able to just get planes and helicopters so that he can look out for him and things like that. We'll get back to that too. And so they cause enough ruckus, and they get his old team back together after he's been in jail and all that. They cause enough mayhem in the streets that Monarch actually lets Toby be in the race. But because Dino put out pretty much a hit on him to keep him from getting in that race, the car actually gets messed up. They get hit by another car that's going after them. And so he has to get another car to be part of the race. And it just so happens to be the car that Dino was driving when he killed Pete. Somehow he still has that car. I don't know. So he gets in the race, they race, it's chaos, and the police are on them the whole time. And Dino finally, it's between Dino and Toby, Aaron Paul and Dominic Cooper. And Dino flips and goes off, but Aaron Paul actually shows that he's actually a good person and goes back for him, even though the police are after them. And Aaron Paul and Toby actually ends up winning the race, and then going to jail for months because of what he did to win the race. And then they kind of drive off and I guess go into more driving adventures, I guess. Positives, the acting is pretty good, right? Like I'd say that Aaron Paul is pretty good, even though his character is kind of bland, has really no personality. Uh, the friends are played well as well, you know. I'd say Imogen Poots probably the best in this movie. I kind of liked her character, like she was kind of clever, and I guess her and Aaron Paul had at least a little bit of chemistry, but the dialogue is terrible, so it actually takes away from it. The friends could be more, right? Like, you know, they're kind of forgettable. Like by the end of the movie, I was like, oh yeah, they do exist, huh? Rami Malek's one of them, and you know, they're not much, but there was some parts that I was like, okay, they are kind of okay, right? Like they are kind of funny. Aaron Paul's whole thing is he's from Breaking Bad, and obviously he used to say bitch all the time in the show. So in this, Aaron Paul never says bitch, but his friends say bitch at least a few times, and I guess that was kind of an inside joke. That was kind of funny.
Just go to the window.
No. Why?
Just go to the window. Quit being a little bitch.
You're the bitch.
That being said, there's one friend in particular, Kid Cudi's character Benny, and this character is a black stereotype that I haven't seen in a while. I mean, it is bad. You gotta call me Maverick, bro. You try to play me. It's really bad. Like it's disgraceful. It's kind of, and I never say this. I never get offended at this kind of stuff, but it actually is embarrassing.
And look, if this is about Anita trying to get her back or something, do it another way, homie. Write a poem or some shit, okay? I'll help you out. Dear Anita, nothing is sweeter than Anita. I really, Anita.
I mean, oh man, I can't believe, like, really, like I get you're a rapper, and I guess maybe you want to be you know, an actor or get into acting, but that doesn't mean you take every role, right? Like, I would have taken one look at the script and be like, hell no, like.
Fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. Go on and fly. Fly.
That goes into, like, you know, some of the big problems with this when it comes to the writing, because that character literally just gets planes out of nowhere. Like, he just has a plane in the beginning, right? And there's no explanation for that. Out of nowhere, he has like a news helicopter, and it's like, you know, and he's essentially like taking over the camera for it, I guess, and is actually being broadcast on the news when he's checking out these girls jogging or whatever. It's like, how did that even happen? And then later on, he has an Apache helicopter, because that was a running joke throughout the movie, and he's just sitting there with, I guess, a major or whoever, like his friend that's in the military that hooked him up. It's like, what? Like, so, and they get caught, and he ends up going to jail, I guess military jail, and you know, because there's a bunch of people there in uniform and stuff in the jail too, and somehow he's able to watch the race on an iPad. Like, the lady's just like letting him watch it, whatever. And I guess that guy's at the very least gonna get kicked out for doing this. Like, he just seemed like he's just a street level guy, and somehow he just knows people that where he can, like, yeah, I can get an Apache helicopter, military helicopter, yeah, why not? Right? By that time, the car is pretty much worthless. I was wondering how they were going to actually do the race with that car at that point, but you know, it's done for. So they asked that either way they would have had to get a new car by that point. I was like, how are you, like, you're going to destroy this car by the time you even get there to do the race. So, and the whole point was for you to, you know, that you got that car from the owner so you can use that car in the race, which the car you weren't even able to use, and the owner never comes back to him and is like, hey, my car, like, that never comes back. The writing is so bad, like idiotic. How the fuck does Dino have like some kind of alibi to where people, to where somebody, I guess, said that, oh no, Dino wasn't there the whole time when Pete died, and I'm like, how? Like, there are no, you know, street cameras or any police at that point, because they were like running people off the road. And you could have asked any of those people, and they'd be like, "Yeah, there was 3 cars." Right? Like, it's crazy how you can be somewhere and cause all that ruckus, and then make it to where the police can't prove that you were there. Like, that's just really stupid to me. that's pretty early on. So you're getting ready for some bullshit at that point.
Dino has 2 witnesses who say they were with him the whole day.
And the owner of Brewster Motors reported 2 Koenigsegg's stolen last week, just 7 minutes before police arrived at the scene of the crash. You're the only one that can place Dino at the scene.
Later on, Dino, I guess, gets proven that he actually did it, and they're like, oh, he's going away for a long time. And I'm like, Aaron Paul only went away for 2 years for the manslaughter charge. It's like, he's probably gonna get manslaughter too and only be, gone for 2 years, almost like, and Aaron Paul just walks out like nothing happened too, both times he goes to jail. But yeah, that didn't make any sense. I was like, okay, so the police couldn't prove, even though it was obvious, couldn't prove that he was even there, but they're gonna be able to prove that he like purposefully killed him instead of it being a manslaughter charge, just like it was for Aaron Paul. And whatever, whatever. Like, you could pick this thing apart all day long. I mean, he just got out of jail, and he immediately is like, "Yep, I'm going from New York to California, just fucking shit up." And once again, the police do not show up as he's driving against traffic. They're going out of their way to drive against traffic, putting people in danger and stuff like that. Like, some of it is exciting, right? He does this jump and things like that, and I could see somebody kind of liking that, but when they're actively putting people's lives in jeopardy, it's like, I don't know. It just, you can't help but think about it. Like, I'm supposed to be rooting for these people, right? But anyway, they drive against traffic earlier on when they're first going on their trip, and when he's with Imogen Poots and he's trying to scare her into not going with him, and the cops do not show up at all during that, right? Just like they didn't for that race earlier on when Pete died, but when he goes in front of a building to get Rami Malek and he's just revving the engine, that's enough for them to show up. None of this makes sense. I was like, I can't. And it's like, it makes sense this will be based on a video game, because I guess once you get out of the, police sight, I guess, or get away from them, I guess they just forget about you. I guess until later on when they, when another cop sees him at, some gas station when they stop. It's just, I mean, it's crazy that he's willing to do all this. I mean, I know his friend died, and Dino in this is like a full-on supervillain. I mean, when he sends these people after them, they're legit trying to kill him. Like, they pull out shotguns, they try to run him off the road. I mean, it's craziness. Wow, that character is out there. But the fact that you would do all this, like, I don't know. It didn't really fully make sense to me. I don't know. Especially when as soon as you win the race, you're automatically going to jail. It's like, how have the police not found out about this? How have the police not found out about Monarch and, Michael Keaton by now?
Yeah, the British are coming. I gotta tell you, I'm moved. I am. And the whole thing just went right here to the old ticker, and I think I got top one lead. Yeah, this is getting good.
It's like he's giving commentary on the movie. He's only in one room the whole time, so it's probably the easiest check he's ever gotten. And it's just him kind of saying either obvious stuff or him just going crazy. Oh my God, star-crossed lovers across the... It's down to 3. Like, okay, I can see, and what else did he say? He's like, oh, this is more than just a race. I was like, I know, I can see it. That's another thing, yeah, right? Like they were saying, like, oh, there's $7 million worth of cars here. I was like, what does that matter when the cars are going to be totaled? Like, every single one of those cars got ran off the road, got flipped, other than Aaron Paul's car, which was Dino's car that he used to kill Pete. So what's the point? Like, I guess they don't get the cars when they win? Because that wouldn't make sense unless they could only, like, I guess, scrap it for parts. I guess. Dino's car, it fully exploded. He was about to die if Aaron Paul didn't come back for him. This is just, it's brain dead. It's like the earlier Fast and Furious movies, but even dumber, right? Like, I enjoy those movies too. I like the characters and things like that, but obviously, definitely there are people who don't like those movies, and it's like they try to double down on that stuff. It's like, if you try to turn your brain off and watch this, your brain would like boot back up and cuss you out. Like it really is that dumb. Like, it was to the point where it was making me laugh. Like, I enjoyed watching this movie. It was actually entertaining because it was just so out there. I was like, why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? Why is the movie so so long because they have to have this whole setup, and then they have the whole thing of them driving to get to the De Leon race, and then the actual race itself. They only have like, what, 30 minutes for it because they've spent so much time on everything else. So yeah, I think that's all I wanted to talk about. Man, that Kid Cudi character was really getting on my last nerve, man. Like, this is, man, the writing in this, wow. I'm gonna give this utter trash. It's not quite bad enough to get my my lowest rating, because I did, have fun watching it. I was entertained. This is almost so bad it's good, or so bad it's fun, because I could not believe this movie was this badly written. But anyway, that's Need for Speed. Subscribe, like all that other stuff if you like the video, and we're done.